Hey y'all! For those of you who don't know, my name is Helen. I also go by Lenny, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm giving you guys a beautiful soft bridal glam. I'm featuring the new Mercier concealer as well as their foundation. This is my beautiful model Lauren, and if you guys would like to see how we got this look, then just keep on watching. All right, y'all. So we're going to get started with the MAC Hyper Real Fresh Canvas, and I'm just going to massage this into her skin. This is just a really good way to break down all of the dirt, oils, any leftover makeup on her skin before we apply our serums, our primers, our makeup, okay? I really love this product. I feel like it's super soothing on the skin. It breaks down everything seamlessly. She felt like she was getting a massage, and I love that for her because on your bridal day, would you not want to feel pampered, right? So I'm going to use a little bit of water, and I'm taking an exfoliating pad, and I'm going to just kind of massage that in to get rid of also any dry skin. This is just going to make sure her skin is feeling smooth, feeling very luxe. I want her to feel pampered, as you should on your wedding day. All right, next I'm going to use these hyaluronic acid eye patches. I bought this a while ago and I like using this. First of all, if you guys have been watching a few of my older videos, you know hyaluronic acid is something that I really love using. I feel like it's a great balancing acid. I feel like it helps to kind of make sure your skin is awake. It balances out the oils in the skin and just gets you right? So I got these pads to just place underneath the eye as I start off with the makeup. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Freeze, and I am using this spoolie to really work it into her brows. Lauren has stunning, really thick, full brows, and quite frankly, there's not much you need to do to her brows. So I felt like doing this first was going to be perfect to kind of frame her face. Next, I'm going to go in with a little bit of concealer, and I am going to prep her eyes. I just want something really neutral, nothing super brightening. I just want to make sure that her eyeshadow has a good prep underneath. I'm going to set this with a little bit of translucent powder. So I'm going to use the Patrick Ta Multi-Dimensions eyeshadow palette. This is a perfect all-around neutral eyeshadow palette. I'm going to go in with a soft brown, and I'm going to work this into her crease. And I'm taking my time in blending this, okay? I'm building up that color to a great intensity, especially in the deeper parts of the crease. And I'm working it towards the center of her nose, all the way to the outskirts of the eye. I'm gonna grab this Morphe eyeshadow palette. This palette is so old, guys, and I don't even think they still sell it, but I'm gonna use this. It's a mix between a highlighter eyeshadow color, and I'm going to use this to place on her lid just to give her a really nice champagne gold type of shimmer eye. Back in with the Patrick Ta eyeliner in that palette. I'm going to smoke this along her lash line, and I'm going to just use a pencil brush, and I'm going to deepen the outer corners of her eye. I'm going in with that black and then a little bit of the brown to make sure I'm smoking it out and getting the intensity that I desire. Now, to build up a little bit more intensity on the eye, I'm going to go in with the NYX glitter glue, and I'm going to pop this on her eye, and I'm going back into the Morphe palette to really intensify that shimmer shade. It didn't give me the intensity that I desired, and I feel like on your wedding day, you want to make sure that your glam is popping. It should be catching the attention of all of your guests. Your eyes should be the star of the show, right? So I really want to make sure that I am intensifying her eyes. Next, I'm going to go in with an oldie but goodie. This is the NYX Epic Ink Eyeliner. If you guys know, you know, I love this liner, and I'm just going to pop this right on top of where we placed that gel liner. This is just going to intensify the black, so that way when I place on her lashes, there is no lines. It's going to be seamless. The lashes are just going to blend right into that area. You guys, I really suck at wing liner, but every once in a while I try to do it. So I did a very small, tiny wing. I feel like for a classic Bridal Glam, we typically don't do a really extenuated wing liner, but I felt like a nice small wing would look stunning on Lauren's eyes and it would really just bring out her eyes. Now I'm going to go in with the Makeup by Mario nude pencil, and I'm just going to waken up her eyes and pop this into the bottom waterline. I feel like it just opens her eyes and makes them to look bright and eye-catching. Now I'm going to go in with the NYX gel eyeliner, and I'm just going to deepen this in the upper waterline area, okay? I want to make sure that that black is intensified so that way when she puts on her lashes, it's seamless, because I always feel like you can tell where the lashes are in the photos, right? So you want to make sure that this looks seamless. This is a great tip that I use for all of my brides to make sure that you cannot see where those lashes are. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up her liner. And then for her under eyes, I'm going to use the Clinique eye cream, and I'm going to make sure I blend this in, moisturize her underneath the eyes, because this is where a lot of the powders sit, and I want it to still look rejuvenated. I want it to still look fresh, okay? Under eye, face, primers, it all is essential. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich base, and I'm going to massage this into her skin. Remember, we want to make sure that her skincare is A1. I'm going to make sure she's feeling like she's at a spa. Your bride should feel pampered. Your bride should feel beautiful on her wedding day. So that's exactly the aesthetic that I wanted to give. Now for the star of the show, I'll be using the new Laura Mercier concealer, and I'll be using the shade 1 Neutral 1, okay? First, I'm going to use it to just clean up underneath her eyes, and then I'm going to place this to kind of underpaint her eye concealer area. This is just going to brighten this up, get rid of any darkness that she already may have before we place on her foundation. My intentions with this is to really build it up so that way when we put on her foundation, her under eyes will start to look flawless. Now I'm going to be using the Laura Mercier foundation, and this is in the shade Cashmere. And when I tell you guys, this is like a perfect skin match for her. It's perfectly neutral. It has a little bit of that pink and yellow to it. I felt like it blended lovely into her skin, and it's just going to be lively, okay? This is more of a medium buildable coverage. It's super soft on the skin, and it just looks amazing. Her skin looks flawless. I feel like it's a really dewy, soft, matte type of finish, and it just looks like skin. Now, I first like to build it up with the brush, and then I go in with my sponge to just blend everything together. It's like you build and then almost take away, just so that way nothing looks super cakey and it just looks flawless. Now I'm going to go in with the Born This Way concealer by Too Faced in the shade Caramel, and this is going to be my bronzer / contour color. I feel like this has the perfect undertone to mesh in with this foundation. I'm going to place this right in the hollows of the cheek to kind of build her face. I place this also at the bottom of her jaw area. This is just going to make it sharp, give the illusion of a really sharp cheek and chin area. And then I'm placing this around the forehead to warm up her skin. I have been falling in love with using concealers as like contour and bronzer, and it's just been doing everything I need for it to do. I feel like the undertones in concealers tend to be a lot nicer when it comes to bronzers, especially for fairer skin tones. So this is my little trick. Next, I'm going to go in with the Born This Way concealer in the shade Swan, and I'm going to place this in all the places to highlight. This is slightly lighter than that Laura Mercier shade. Now for her blush, I'm going to go in with the Juvia's Place liquid blush in the shade Pink Lady. So instead of placing this directly on her face, you guys know Juvia's Place's liquid blushes are extremely pigmented. So what I do, I kind of blend it in with a little bit of her foundation, and it lightens it for a skin tone that I think would be lovely for her, as well as lets go of a little bit of that intensity of the blush. So I like to mix those two together and then blend that out with my brush. And then I'm going to blend out all of her highlighted areas. Now to set her face, I'll be going in with the One Size loose setting powder in the shade Translucent. I love One Size. I feel like it's perfectly finely milled and thick enough to kind of leave a little bit of coverage and fullness to her skin, okay? So I'm going to place this everywhere that I have set with her highlighted powders, and then I'm going to have her blow out her cheeks. This was a little trick I found from an influencer online. I cannot remember who they were, but when you blow out your cheeks and then set it with a little bit of setting powder, this just helps to really set in those fine lines, those smile lines along the cheek. Your bride is going to be happy. She's smiling throughout the day, so you want to make sure that you're limiting as much creasing as possible. After setting the her fine lines, I make sure to take a little bit of the powder all around her face. Now to warm up her skin, I am taking the Charlotte Tilbury finishing powder in the shade 3 Tan, and I'm using this as her bronzer shade. I feel like it just worked so perfectly. I feel like I'm using the wrong products for the right places, but it all worked out, and it just warmed up her skin so perfectly. Lauren is just stunning. Then I'm going to go in with a little bit more of that translucent powder, and I'm just going to bake right underneath the eyes, along the sides of the nose, and right underneath where I placed her bronzer to really emphasize that area. Going back in with that Patrick Top eyeshadow palette, I am using the same 2 browns that I used in her crease area, and I'm just going to run this right along her lash line just to complete the eye, give her a little bit of smokiness and sultriness to her eye. Then I'm going to use a little bit of mascara and coat her lashes. This is just going to allow for her lashes to blend in really well with the falsies. So my go-to lash for a bride who does not want a super heavy lash is always going to be the Ardell Naked Lashes in the style 421. These are my go-to lashes. They're really light on the eye. I feel like they add just the right amount of length, just the right amount of volume. And look at her eyes. They look stunning. They look awake. They don't look heavy or weighed down. She just looks stunning. Now I'm going to go in with the Patrick Ta She's a Doll blush duo, and I'm just going to use the powder in there, and I'm just going to emphasize her cheek area. I want her face to look flushed. I want it to look blush like a blushing bride, because that's exactly what she is. And I'm placing this really on the apples of the cheek and then blending it upwards. From there, I'm just going to be dusting away all of the loose powder on her face, especially along the jaw, so that way everything is looking seamless. Now from here, I'm going to go back in with a clean spoolie, and I'm just using a little bit of this microbrow pencil from Morphe. I want to say that I'm using the shade Cold Brew, and I'm just going to fill in her tail. When I say Lauren has stunning brows, she has stunning brows, and I don't want to overemphasize the fullness of her brows. I literally just want to emphasize what she already has. Now, just to highlight her face, I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Ofra highlighter, really just on the center points of her face. And then I'm going to use a little bit of this Hourglass Veil setting spray. This is a lovely setting spray, guys. It is almost like dewy of a finish, and it just makes her makeup look so much better. It melts in all of the powders, and she looks stunning. Now I'm going to go in with this Morphe lip liner. This is in the shade Sweetheart, and I'm just going to line her lips. I knew I wanted to do a red lip on Lauren. She just gives me Marilyn Monroe vibes, okay? She's so freaking gorgeous, and I felt like this was really just going to pop on her skin. I know we don't really do red lip brides anymore, but I think she would be a stunning red lip bride. Like, do you guys agree? I don't know. I loved it, and she loved it, and she looks stunning, guys. To really seal in this glam, I'm going to be using the So Pro Cosmetics Seal It Locking Mist, and this is going to last her the entirety of her bridal day. Guys, thank you so much for going through this glam with me. If you guys would like to see more of these videos, please comment down below, like and subscribe, and we will see you guys soon. Love ya. Bye.